you. I knew a zombie in his Seattle debut. Behind the bongos, Mr. Ginger Fish.
Hola, this is Gingerfish. We're not in Spain. It's a hard one to say. I mean, the earliest memories I really have are, Black Sabbath and playing like Smoke on the Water in my kindergarten. Like that's the earliest thing I remember. I remember Rush and playing through 2112, which every drummer knows, I assume. In high school, it was all about Led Zeppelin. My music is pretty eclectic. It's strange taste, however. I grew up, my dad's a singer, so I grew up in like the crooner era, where you're listening to like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and stuff like that. So my first touching of drums were those drummers' kits. I'd sit down and play with those drummers' kits and stuff. So I always seemed to be, I grew up in the mainstream, like what was going on mainstream. And then obviously when you're young, you play covers, so usually what you end up playing is what's most popular in your area. So I was a very mainstream driven person. But as far as music-wise, I mean, I can't stop but smile when I listen to like Master Plan by David Weckl. It's just, some of the songs are just mind-blowing. And I just sit there and I just have the biggest grin on my face listening to it. Drum-wise, obviously, I mean, listening to AC/DC and stuff like that, which was very mainstream, but very, very simplistic. Very, very minimal when it came to drumming. But there's a certain level of playing songs, playing what's necessary, and what's tasteful to the song, which AC/DC mastered, versus, the speed metal nowadays where everyone's just playing everything. All the notes just thrown out there at once. And I think that might have something to do with, obviously, with kids, with the internet and stuff. The kids are... Kids have the ADD, the attention deficit and whatever, and they can't sit still. And obviously it takes a lot of discipline to sit between 1, 2, 3, and 4 when you're playing, than just playing a million notes in between them. So I think it's a little to do with maturity, a little to do with the era I grew up in. Because I didn't grow up with Avenged Sevenfold and Dragon Force and bands like that. Kids nowadays, my brother has kids, they grow up with that, and they play like ridiculously speed metal all day long. They just sit there and shred constantly. I feel like my dad saying, what's it got into these kids these days? Because it wasn't my era, definitely. I ride motorcycles. I usually have an onslaught of them. I have like three mini bikes I took out with Ozfest, and they would ride with my drums and road cases, and I would take my roller skates and roller skate around the arenas. Anything with a motor amuses me. So I love boats, I love planes, cars. But again, as you get older, you start realizing that, those are just material toys, and other things become more important in your life. I mean, we're going into Slayer right after this. We go back to the States, and we're doing 3 weeks with Slayer. And going across Canada and some northern states, where we pop in and out of Canada to do to Wisconsin and Detroit areas and stuff like that. And after that, I mean, I carry a Pro Tools rig with me, so after that, I'm hoping, just keep getting the guys into recording and just try to keep push or whatever, and pump out another record. I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I haven't created two yet with them because they were right in the middle of a tour when I joined. So I haven't spent too much time in the creative process. But working with John, which I have done in the past, it was everyone sitting in a room, putting ideas together and saying, hey, check out this, let's try that. Or playing, I would play a beat and then John would just pick up and play something along to it. And very much, the way you think of as a kid growing up, with a band sitting in a room playing and coming up with ideas. So I believe that's the Zombie Camp's mentality. I believe that's what will happen, but I can't say for sure because I haven't been there yet. It's funny because when it comes to illegal downloading stuff, the most hardcore fans, the most dedicated people, they say they're just 100%. This is all they're into, and they don't buy anything anymore. They download it, or I've heard fans saying, "Oh, this is my favorite tour ever was this," but they never even went to a show. They've got their hardcore opinions of what was the best year for what band, when, and everything else, but then they never saw the band prior, during, or after that. They come up with these ideas in their minds, and more power to them. I mean, everyone has the right to their opinion, but I mean, obviously, when it comes to the internet, there's a lot of children that really aren't using mature logic when they're doing things. So the downloading, I mean, I can't change it. I can't prevent it. I hope that by people downloading stuff, it makes them want to come to see a show, or make them want to go out and buy the album for the artwork and stuff. So, as a merchandising tool, I think, I hope it helps and benefits in some way, but I can't control it in any way. So it is what it is. Thanks for coming. I hope all the French people enjoy HellFest. It's going to be an adventure to me, and I hope to make through the night, which is always a question mark on my mind. So hopefully we'll have a good night, and I will see you another day.